Well, this video quality is actually on point with today's topic, which is showing up even when things aren't optimal. I'm still having tech issues, which I talked about yesterday. So I'm actually filming this on an old phone that I had in the drawer. I think this is a Galaxy S10. You are wedged in my steering wheel because it doesn't fit the mount on my tripod. So I want to talk about showing up when things aren't optimal because I've been just wanting to be a little more creative, which is part of like why I'm doing YouTube really, is to share things, but also to find that little inner creativity. And when things don't work, you also have to be creative and figure out how to keep showing up when things aren't working. So here we are. Here we are. And I find that no matter what it is, whether it's fitness, whether it's learning art for the first time, whether it's starting a business, whether it's pretty much anything that you want to do in life, you just have to keep plugging through. No matter what you're doing, especially when you're first starting out, you just gotta play with it. You just gotta try different ways of engaging with it, different ways of learning the best ways to navigate it. And as I talked about in yesterday's video, I have an anxiety disorder. I overthink everything. I overplan. And it just really makes everything that much harder to execute because you just can't stick with it. I couldn't stick with it. Or I burn out. Or I would just pitch the whole thing because I made it way more overwhelming for myself. And making it easier, just doing the little things, playing around, engaging with whatever it is, to find the little pockets in which you can make it, in which you can keep moving forward without it being this total slog, without it having to be optimal, doing it messy. It's all good. And I've learned more by having these little failures or these little setbacks or these little inconveniences, even the big ones, because then you have to revamp a whole lot. But even in that revamping, oftentimes there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of improvement even. And so, obviously this video quality is not an improvement. I should be getting my new camera hopefully next week. I don't know, the shipping got delayed and my iPhone was not syncing to the iCloud. So it's been syncing for like an hour so far and it's still going. It's barely made a dent. Less than optimal. But I wanted to share this like frustration in real time, this rethinking, reimagining what it is that I want to do and what I want to produce. Like I can't, like I'm stuck, like how I can't record anything. I can't, another example I think about too is art, is like drawing. Like I'm just trash at drawing. My proportions are off, like the head's this big and like the ears are this big and they make no sense to me. Proportions just make no sense. And, just even using the pen or the pencil, like it's really hard for me to grasp still. Like I'm still so new at it. And I just told myself I couldn't for so long. It's just that was like what was in my head because I talk really awful to myself a lot of times historically. It's improving, but we will definitely have that topic coming up because I've definitely improved the negative self-talk in my head quite a bit. There's this thing that I'd heard, it was Walt Disney. The reason why Mickey Mouse's head is always like to the side is because they couldn't quite figure out drawing like head on so that the face still made sense, I believe. It was something along those lines. So they're like, we'll just always draw him on the side. Can you imagine if they just pitched Mickey Mouse? I mean, it'd be fine, but like, so it's like, you just have to kind of like get around it. There are real life examples all over the place. And there's this podcast, I listen to it occasionally, but I think it's called How This Got Made or How This Got Built. I'll link it below. It's basically these conversations with these business people and all the different iterations of business, all the different ideas they went through in order to get to the one that they were like, oh, the one that worked. I think those stories are really important to listen to because when you do think about it and you get like me and you overthink and you want things to be optimal and you want to start strong, like you kind of want to skip the part where you suck, But that's, even with the best tools, the best equipment, the best everything, the real magic is in the know-how. The real magic is your personality. The real magic is in how you execute it. That's where the magic is. So you don't need all the fancy stuff to begin with. You just need to figure out how it's going to work for you and make it as easy as possible to start, and not worry about whether or not something is optimal, because it never will be. It never will be. You're never going to have enough time to do all the things that you want to do. And you may have just weird chunks throughout the day that you can just chip away at things. And that's just the way that goes. It's true with fitness too. People think that they have to go for like this long at the gym in order to, no, there are so many ways to fitness. I've said that many times. There are so many ways to fitness. There are so many ways to do many of the things we want to do in life. And sometimes I just look around, even the internet on the whole, like people were selling courses, or people are like these experts, and they say that the steps are simple, but then you buy the course, and then you see all the different steps you have to do. And it just all takes time, it all takes time to figure out. And if you don't put in any effort towards it, I mean, that's already a goose egg. It's already a goose egg. So those are my thoughts today on my very irritating tech issue. I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do for the last hour, because I like talking about it. It's like, what a nice thing to see someone go through it in real time and try to find some sort of way to get through it. I hope this helped in some way. And whatever you're looking to do, shift your thinking a little bit, especially when you're first starting out. And sometimes as you're going along, it's okay to pivot. It's all right to change it up. Sometimes the changing it up, even just tweaks, it's all going to be okay. We're all just doing the best. We're all just doing our best out here.